Welcome back to Barnes Automotive Design. Today we're working on a few components for the 4.3 intake manifold. Let's get right to it. Before we get to the CNC, we have to prep our stock. Since I preferred a nice consistent finish, I decided to use a fly cutter. To prevent chatter, I removed the vise and used carpet tape to adhere the plate to the bed. This worked very well and was able to get the material within a thou over 18 inches. Over here at the CNC, you can see we're popping a couple holes in. This is going to be the throttle body flange. Now we're going to rough out the center opening. We're going to go in and finish with a 1/2 inch end mill. Now we're throwing a steel plate in there. We're drilling a couple clearance holes. So the throttle body flange will bolt to this plate. You can see here where I'm bolting it up. And I got to square it up and find center. And then we'll go around and it'll cut the outside. Leave the coolant wash the window down on this one. So yeah, that's what you see there. So we'll go on to the next component. This will be used to lock down the distributor and hold it at the proper height. We'll start by facing. I'm going to pop a couple holes in it and then a rough bore and finish, and then finish the outside as well. You can see here I made a little oops. I didn't have the chamfer mill retract enough, so I'm going to push the whole part down 3/8 of an inch and everything should clean up good. Moving forward, these will be the intake manifold flanges that bolt to the cylinder heads. Here I'm picking up the stock. Then we're going to be going through spot drilling and drilling a bunch of holes. Now we're roughing in the ports for each cylinder and then the water jackets. Then I had to throw a 8mm end mill in to be able to pick out the corners, get them to the proper radius. You can see here I put some 1, 2, 3 blocks in each vise and then clamped or bolted rather, the flange down to the 1, 2, 3 blocks. That way I can walk around the whole outside of the part and finish. Alright, so this is another one of the parts I made. This will be the valley cover. So this will be separate from the intake manifold. I made a couple studs that go down into the valley cover. And this slides on. I still have to cut a couple angles on these. I'll just do these finger tight for now. I have to cut a couple angles on either side of here for the intake flanges to kind of sit down into the proper location. And then here's another part that you saw earlier in the video. This is for the distributor. So the clamp will bolt on there, and then I'm not running this distributor just for video purposes. And the oil pump stud, there it is. So this will kind of go wherever I want it to go. It'll probably go face forward just because I'll have a tube coming up, running forward from this water port and this water port. So just straight forward will probably work the best for us. But this will get welded in location, and I'll probably just weld like either side here and then along the back. I don't have to weld the whole perimeter because I'll weld the whole perimeter from the inside when it's off. Alright, I removed that valley cover because I still got to throw the angles on it, but we're just going to mock up the intake flanges real quick just to show you guys kind of what this is going to look like. So you can see now we have both flanges kind of just mounted on temporarily. Now this is the throttle body flange, so this will sit somewhere in this region, and then I have to shape with aluminum. I got some 3003, I think it's 100 thou thick, 3003. That'll be perfect for, I'll be able to shape up the bottom of the plenum and then the walls and the top. So this will sit, I need to sit 4 5/8 to the top of this flange from the china wall high. So that's kind of, how tall the intake will be. Here's one of the other pieces I whipped up that I didn't really video or show you guys. So this is the thermostat flange. So this will sit up here. It's a pretty much direct mock-up. I can show you a close-up on the table over there, but you know, this is a factory piece and thermostat goes in here, that bolts down, but that'll have its own little manifold that this is welded to up front, and then there's going to be a tube running from each port back here up to there. That's how they had it kind of flowing from the factory, so I figured I never really had any cooling issues, so you might as well just have it flow the same way. These new gaskets I got didn't have any, there's no holes back here. The ones I pulled off had a tiny hole, so I'll probably just match that diameter hole through there. Looking at the fit up on the ports, you can see I got a little bit of, I'm going to be doing some port work on these heads, but the overall runner shape, that fits, is looking pretty nice. Show you from this side. You can see there's a bunch of crap down in there, but I got to, these heads are coming off anyway, so. All right, I wanted to touch on a couple things here at the end. Here's one of those flanges. When I was measuring everything out dimensionally, this hole ended up off half a diameter. So I put it back in the Bridgeport and plunged it out, and it should be fine. It still has contact with the head of the bolt over halfway around, so I'm not too concerned about that. Here on the valley cover, I just kind of wanted to show you guys. So this whole edge and this whole edge will be getting an angle to match the flange here. So the flange, you know, each flange will sit down against it and there'll be sealer in there, and that's what'll kind of seal, keep oil from coming out. And then here's the throttle body flange that I made. This is a AFR 4-hole tapered spacer. I kind of wanted to go with a design like this just because I thought it might help airflow a little bit, but this is a 1 inch. Obviously I made a 1/2 inch, so just with the size, having the 1 inch, there was a lot more area to work with obviously, so it was a little tight and I wasn't able to kind of get what I wanted to get. So we ended up with just the big opening. And then closing off, I wanted to kind of show you guys. Here's the original intake, and here's that thermostat housing that I whipped up. So this will probably end up sitting in a very similar location and angle, just because I like how the factory had it with where this comes in through the alternator and that tensioner and runs forward. So the manifold will probably go, there's going to be a manifold that I make that runs from either side of this. This will probably get milled out a bunch and it'll get welded in the location. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the progress that we made on the intake in this video, and I hope you subscribe and see more, and look forward to the rest of the stuff I get to show you guys. Thanks.